matters unrelated to roundabouts, because the IFA today called on the Minister for Justice, Dermot Ahern, to rethink the newly introduced licensing system for firearms. They say that under the new legislation, all gun owners are required to invest a huge amount of time satisfying complex and confusing red tape requirements. I'm joined on the line by Bernard Phelan of IFA Countryside Committee. Bernard, what's your problem with the new system?
Well, I suppose to begin with, there will be a lot of expense put on people that wasn't experienced heretofore. But I suppose to preface the thing, Philip, the change was about to be brought in a couple of years ago by the then Minister, Michael McDowell, and IFA requested that the introduction of the new system be delayed subject to some consultation with various interested groups. Arising out of that, there was a consultative panel established, and all the various different interested parties had an input into what was about to be introduced. Unfortunately, there was an aspect of it that didn't get much consideration, and that is the actual renewal application system that's been introduced now, which has sort of been landed there without much thought, I think. And it's creating a lot of problems for
And these problems are that you now have to get character witnesses, referees, and medical history, and all sorts of new bits and pieces of red tape.
Yeah, instead of it being a renewal system, I think it's a new application system. And there is requirements being put on our members. But I suppose part of the problem, or the major part of the problem, is the fact there's a lack of clarity in the actual form that we're being asked to complete, and a lot of ambiguity with it. Just for example, we're asked what type of certificate we're looking for. It says firearms certificate, limited firearms certificate, restricted firearms certificate, training firearms certificate, but there's no real explanation going with this, you know.
Okay, well, you can get to the bottom of that, but you have to acknowledge that there was a difficulty here. I think that it was Fine Gael TD John Deasy in Waterford who highlighted how it appeared very, very easy in certain parts of the country to get all sorts of firearms just on the say-so of a Garda superintendent, but more difficult in others, and some kind of standardisation needed to be brought in. This form would appear to be that.
Yes, well, I think the vetting that would have gone on in the past by Garda Síochána was as strenuous vetting as you would get in any part of the world. In fact, more
well,
so.
It wasn't, though, because the problem was that Bray appeared to have handed out 75, while just down the road there was 10 given in the same period of a year. Yeah, there was inconsistencies all over the place. I
would suggest that it's still very much down to the local superintendent. The decision-making process still rests with the local superintendent under the new Act. But the problem is the forms that we're now asked to complete, it's the ambiguity. For instance, another question is, under the previous history, have you ever been found guilty, or do you have any charges pending for any offence in Ireland or abroad? And that's a very ambiguous statement. Our members wouldn't know whether they're supposed to put in Road Traffic Act offences or whatever.
Come on, Bernard. Of course they're not going to put in penalty points on road traffic.
Well, the problem is, if you have so many different people being asked to complete these forms, and you have we've already had meetings with our members, and the amount of different opinions coming forward with some of the questions as to what is needed to be answered there.
Okay.
I would have suggested that we've no problem completing the form, but we certainly would have needed some sort of clarification document or an explanatory note going with the form to help us, you know.
A little bit more clarity needed there. Bernard Phelan of IFA Countryside, thank you very much. Now,